As the year 2009 progressed, it was very apparent that a lot of companies such as Barcrest and Bellfruit and even Red Gaming and the likes of Empire, who were still about at the time, were really jumping on this concept of trying to release new games because of this £70 upgrade. It was an opportunity for them to showcase these games in the pub scene, and of course the UK pulling out of that recession meant that people had an extra few quid to go down the pub and enjoy a few drinks on the weekend, or maybe splash out a few extra quid in the fruity. So I do believe companies were really trying to push out new games, new concepts, and starting a new slate at £70. Now, saying this, Bellfruit Gaming at this point was, I would say, the acceleration point in which they really did accelerate the releases of Deal or No Deal. They jumped on that bandwagon, they grasped the Deal or No Deal franchise concept, and they pushed out a lot of games. And looking from this point on to what stories I have and games that you can probably think of that had been released, you can imagine and see how many different Deal or No Deal games there have been since 2009 till now. There's a lot, and that is because Bellfruit wanted to release them. It was a popular TV show, a lot of people watched it, and I'll tell you what, the punter was massively enticed to this concept. They loved the fact that this mirror you couldn't see anything in could hold any value, and people loved it. They absolutely loved it, and Bellfruit got it spot on, and they continued to release them. Now these two games in particular, Deal or No Deal Gold on the left, apologies it's only a picture, and Deal or No Deal The Banker Rings Twice, were quite early. One of the very first Deal or No Deal releases at £70 Jackpot. They were both completely identical, they played exactly the same, and what we call clones, and Deal or No Deal Gold was slightly released earlier than The Banker Rings Twice. But both of these, on initial program 1, were fully emptyable. You could take every pound coin out of these games legally if you had the right setup, and it was all to do with the Cashpots. Soon after that, they chipped it, the trick no longer worked, and there was a big telltale sign on Deal or No Deal Gold allowing you to know that it was chipped, which we'll come to in a minute. But then there was still a way of getting a jackpot out of these if the Cashpot was high. You can actually trap these as well, but it's quite difficult. But the Cashpot itself was the appealing thing once they became chipped. And there's some people, please comment below, that will say that this was terrible. It wasn't worth any, like even trying and going for. I would argue that I made a tidy little sum out of these games by playing the second route, but people will say that it was a headache, and I can see why. Sitting on one of these for like 45 minutes to make 12 quid isn't that appealing, but it's just money in my eyes. There is a profit potential there. So let's get into program 1 then. So Deal or No Deal Gold on the left and The Banker Rings Twice, both identical games. The first thing that you need to know about this is that there's 3 separate independent stakes. There's 25p a play, 50p a play, and £1 a play. Now those 3 stakes have their own Cashpots, and they progress slowly but surely as you play, and they will go up to a maximum of 70 quid, which is a jackpot. Put a £1 in quickly. So 25p is on £7.10, 50p is on £32.20, and £1 at 70. Depending on what stake you play them on, the Cashpots will go up by a certain amount. So 25p a play will go up on average 5p a press, 50p a play will go up by 10p a press, and £1 a play will go by 20p a press. And it will keep going up there until either someone wins the Cashpot or they reach 70 quid. So that's the first thing that you need to know. Now Deal or No Deal Gold was exactly the same, and on program 1s, all 3 stakes could go up to £70. Now this is where things became a little bit new and different for Deal or No Deals, because at this time Cashpot was like quite a fairly new concept. Predecessors, its original £35 jackpot machines, there wasn't any really Cashpots, if I can remember. I don't think there was any actually, and Cashpots themselves were a brand new thing. Like, people were like, ooh, that's another way of winning money. But what we soon found out was Cashpot, if you managed to get it, was a free amount. If it was jackpot, then the machine would give you that jackpot and it would remain in its happy state. And sooner rather than later, when people worked this out, all these games became really good and really playable. And that sat true for all of the rest of Bellfruit Gaming's Deal or No Deal releases that had Cashpots. In a nutshell, that is a pretty fair statement. There are exceptions, especially when we get later on into 2014 sort of time. Things do begin to change a little bit, but Cashpots are completely free. Now, Spank the Banker, Deal or No Deal Spank the Banker. I've not done a video on that, but that was a full empty from the Cashpot. And it's quite similar to this one in the sense that you could get Cashpots and it would just be a free 70 quid. But you could only empty these if all 3 stakes were getting close to their maximum. So the way that you would do this is that you'd go up to a machine and you'd put a pound in and you'd flick through the stakes. Now, if 25p was at like 67 quid and 50p was on like 65 and a pound was on 70, then you're laughing. Because all you would do is that you would start it on 25p and you would play it constantly, kill every board, play it constantly, keep killing the board until it went to 70 quid. You would then knock it up to 50p, do the same, and at this point all 3 stakes are now max. So it's 70 quid up across all 3 stakes. You would keep playing the game. You could play it on 50p. I normally used to play it on a pound just because it gets done much quicker, until the machine says go all the way. Or you just high-low a segment and it just gives you the all red phones. You know, it allows you to survive those numbers, higher than 5s, lower than 7s, and it just survives. It's just a hidden go all the way, a hidden jackpot board. At this point, it would say go all the way because you've got all your red phones, and all you had to do was press play Deal or No Deal. Now at this point, the machine's flashing its jackpot, and it will spin the box and it will drop in Cashpot. It had to drop in Cashpot on the early program. So you would no deal the whole way and it would give you the 70 quid. Now what does that mean? Well, that means that you've now accumulated 70 quid in your bank, but the machine, remember what I just said, doesn't see that. It's a free jackpot, if you might call it. So you then drop it down a stake to 50p and it says go all the way again. You press play in the Deal or No Deal, it drops Cashpot in. You then take the Cashpot again on that one. Then you drop it down a stake again. You don't have to drop it. You could start on any stake if you wanted to, but you get go all the way again. You press play Deal or No Deal, and you get the final Cashpot. So at this point, within a short period of time, you have accumulated 210 quid's worth of Cashpots across 3 stakes. Now this machine only holds 350 quid, so you've already taken a huge chunk out of this this game. And lo and behold, the machine will still be jackpot ready and it will say go all the way again. And at that point you just take a normal mega streak and hope it goes big, in which it can do. I mean, it can go easily 140, and because you forced it out for a natural go all the way, it will still be deal or no dealing after that as well, 9 times out of 10. So these 2 games on program 1, you could empty these by getting 3 Cashpots and then a big streak. Like, it wasn't like a method in which you're guaranteed to take all the money out of it, because you know you might have to put in 100 quid in to get the game jackpot ready at the beginning, but if you get a mega streak and then like a decent deal afterwards, with your 210 quid from your 3 Cashpots, it does accumulate to pretty much the full amount this machine holds. Now they chipped this game and there was a big telltale indicator when Deal or No Deal Gold was chipped, and that was that the 25p stake would then become capped at 25 quid. So it wouldn't go past 25 quid on 25p stake. 50p and a pound would continue and they would keep going to 70. The Banker Rings Twice, however, never held that concept. They would still be chipped, but 25p still manages to go past to 70 quid. But that was the biggest tell on this game. The fact that the Cashpot would cap on 25p stake at 25 quid. Now, fast forwarding a little bit, they chipped all the games, and at this point, people tried, you know, if they knew how to do it, and it didn't work. What you would actually expect, and what you would see, you would get the goal all the way, you'd press Deal or No, play Deal or No Deal, and it would just drop the jackpot in instead of the Cashpot. But it still had the chance of dropping Cashpot in. Don't get me wrong, it's still like a 50-50 that it could still drop in a Cashpot, but it wasn't guaranteed, which meant that what you could do is turn the game on and off at the wall. So you could actually still get Cashpots out of the game if they were all maxed, and still make a real tidy profit, but it just wasn't guaranteed to drop that Cashpot in, if that makes sense. So for me, traveling around the south of the coast, I really did hit these hard before and after, and a great little game. Moving on to the way that these were programmed afterwards, it was all to do with this Cashpot here. You literally could just get a board and press cash or bust, and you're playing for this on the actual Deal or No Deal, and it would land. It could hit 70 quid, it could hit other things as well, and that was the simple concept afterwards. Really, really easy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this into edit mode very quickly, do properties, and I'll just put the lamps out, just because you can now see what's in the box. Now, I've already tried this game because I wanted to see if it worked or not. Hence why there's Jackpot in the box, because I got a go all the way, and it dropped in Cashpot the first time, Cashpot the second time, and I thought, oh, I was onto a winner here, and then the third time it dropped in Jackpot. But you'll see in a minute that this is Jackpot ready. It's go all the way ready. So, I'm just going to get a board. I mean, it should drop in fairly quick because it's absolutely flying. This will probably just say go all the way, I imagine. Oh no, it didn't. But this is Jackpot ready. So what we're going to do, quickly, is just going to try and kill this game off a little bit.
Deal or no deal?
We're going to get like the go all the way on the game. And once that's done, we'll get the cash or bust out for the cash pot, just so you can see that as well. I mean, I should just really go higher than that. So it should survive. It should survive this turn.
I think you are going
there you go, go away. So just to put proof in the pudding, this might drop in Cashpot, this might drop in Jackpot. It's 50-50. Okay, so it's dropped in Jackpot. So I'm actually just going to take this.
Deal.
Just going to take the Jackpot, just to kill it off. This will be phoned in afterwards, but I'm going to just try and get that Cashpot from the bust.
Oh, how'd you feel?
I mean, normally if that's a go all the way and it's chipped, so you just take the mega. Okay, so it's not done it. Oh, I was meant to cash or bust that then, wasn't I?
Are you feeling stressed?
I'm just going to play the board out just for this one here, just to see what it's doing. So I knew it was going to phone again. Like I said, it's due a deal or no deal straight afterwards. If you was the fourth one, that is. I mean, this could easily just give me another go all the way. From the phones, it could cave in easily. Just curious to see.
It's fantastic.
How far this game will go.
Deal or no deal?
Oh, I could have easily boosted the other phone.
Take the next ones. Come on.
Let's make these red. Okay, so it's killed me. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to play this as I would normally. Okay, I'm going to just just going to get a deal. I'm going to get super deal, and I'm just going to see what it drops in, and then I'm going to go for the bust.
Thank you.
And whatever happens, I'll bring you back for it. So I'm going to try and get some more reds. It's a shame, really. You can trap this off a 1. You can be on that cash and it roll a 1 there, and it doesn't actually see it. It's mad.
Deal or no deal?
One more red.
Deal or no deal?
Right, let's just play this.
Your box is hidden
see what it drops in.
the mirror.
15 quid.
How the banker is going to react.
This doesn't flash up like other deal or no deals, but they do add these do add together. So I'm currently at the moment, and that's 30 quid.
No deal.
So you remember, I got 15 quid in the box, so I could just snap that up. But any split here, if it leaves 70 to the end on any of these, it's going to be a nice little.
No deal.
Let's risk it. So let's just deal this off.
Deal.
Nearly 50 quid. Kill that off. Get some money in. And let's just go for the bust. Right. So, On a pound stake, this cash or bust method is a ball ache, and the reason for that is because phones in view is deal or no deal, so it'll avoid that like the plague. So it's never going to give me let him spin there for phones, just because I've just had 50 odd quid out of the phone. So we're relying on fruit wins, so hopefully cherries, stuff like that. So I'm actually just going to try and get. Oh, could I transfer them? I don't know. So I'm going to try and get fruit wins, and then I'm just going to bust it. Oh, gee, I said it's not going to phone, and there you go, it just dropped straight in. Natural all the way?
Or no deal.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Nearest win red. Right, this is played a deal. I'm going to try and kill this off a bit. Got the old penny in the box.
No deal.
So we're relying here really on a split of some sort.
No deal.
I could just deal off on 12 quid or something.
No deal.
He wants to beat you.
No deal.
I'm just going to deal this off. A tenner.
Deal.
Not 9 quid. This is probably going to be keep dealing as we move on, because I mean 10 quid's not actually that much. So on a pound to go, you'll see how quickly that rattles round the credits. Okay, so there's a win. Okay, so Cashpots there. What we're after really is hitting Cashpot up here. He'll either bust or hit that, and that was the method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to record and just bring you back for when it actually does happen, just so you can see. But I'll cut all these bits out, and I'll just let you know how much it actually costs after this one.
You have one that is your money now.
Right, I'll bring you back then.
Deal or no deal.
Your box is hidden behind the mirror.
Right, so Jackpot's in, so this will kill off, I mean, the game completely.
No deal. No deal.
So yeah, I would take this. The phones will now disappear for good for a while,
I wonder how the banker is
and
going to react.
it might make it a little bit
Open the box,
easier
please.
to get the Cashpot. I'm saying that because if I was to play one of these and it was phoning, you got to be playing the deal. You can't hit the cash or bust because it will just nick the deal pot. 200 bank, yeah.
Oh, how'd you feel?
Right, so again, I'll fast forward. I'll let you know how much it costs, and let's get the cash pot. Okay, next win. There we go, Cashpot. That was shortly afterwards. Didn't take much at all to land. That's the potential right there. What you see there. So huge potential on this game. I'm quite happy it's ended up being how it was, because I had a few cash or bust for a fiver and they repeated, and you've seen the full sort of method, and that's what these could do if you catch them right. You know, afterwards, and people will argue that the game itself is a headache and terrible, and I do agree to a degree. But yeah, I mean, look at that. That's a huge raise from a game. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Obviously, Cashpot is free, so I'll let you figure that next move out. But for this one here, what a great little number. The empty was fantastic, and of course, I think personally, and it's my own take on it, I love when that lands on that. Nothing better, eh? For those that have played them. Right then, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Ta-da.